Hello everyone, welcome back. Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. To those who are new, thanks for checking out my channel. This is the 6th episode in the top books of 2020 by genre or category. And today I am going to share my top 4 horror stories of 2020. Now, if you had asked me in 2019 if I read horror stories, I probably would have said not really. But it turns out that as I have been expanding my reading and trying to read more diversely, I actually do read a bit of horror. There's only one horror book that made it into my top 20 books of 2020, but I am going to share my top 4 here in no particular order. I'm going to start with the book that was on my top 20 list, and that is the short story collection, The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Marquez. It's translated by Megan McDowell, and I've talked about these short stories a few times now, so I will just say that the writing is exquisite. Each story is startling, and many of them made me feel uncomfortable, but like in the best way, and I'm looking forward to reading another book by Mariana this year. The next book is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I saw the movie first before I even knew that it was a book, and this book takes place in an abandoned house with a handful of people who have survived so far. Outside the house and in the light is something, but we don't know what it is. What we know is that it kills anyone who sees it. The house windows are blacked out, doors are securely locked and shut. Mallory is the main character, and she has 2 children, boy and girl, that she has taught to wake up with their eyes closed. And anytime someone goes outside, it is a huge risk. Everyone wears blindfolds, because if you see this light, like I said, it will kill you. So Mallory has learned that if she can get down the river, there is a place where her and the children will be safe. And she has been preparing for the journey, but it is very dangerous, and she may have to choose just one of the children to save. The book is really intense from the beginning. I love the ending of this. I think it's actually quite beautiful, and I'm hoping to read the second book, which is called Mallory, this year. The next book was a shocking read, and one that I still think about like a lot, and it is Bunny by Mona Awad. And I describe this book as Stephen King meets Mean Girls meets Alice in Wonderland. And now these types of books would be called dark academia. I guess now they kind of have their own little category. The story takes place in New England at an elite university. Samantha is the main character. She's kind of alone, a bit of an outcast. She's there on a scholarship, and she doesn't have a group of friends. 4 of her classmates are rich girls who they call each other Bunny, and they dress in the same type of dresses. And for like the first 100 pages, I was like, everything seems to be going fine. This is great, you know, and then all of a sudden it isn't fine, and it becomes quite horrifying and something very unexpected. And after this, the book takes this sudden turn. It very quickly goes down the rabbit hole, no pun intended. Samantha is invited to the Bunny's workshop, and out of curiosity she goes, and what happens at the workshop is just outrageous. And Samantha is now hooked to these workshops, and as a reader I was compelled to keep reading. So if you check this out, and then I hope that you are too, that you want to keep reading it. It's a really good one, and I now read both of Mona Awad's books, and I will definitely read some more. The final book was a different kind of horror story. It's The Residence by Andrew Pyper, and this is a historical fiction inspired by true events. It comes from a story of Franklin Pierce, who was the president of the United States in 1853, when he was traveling by train to Washington with his wife and their son Benny, and a horrible accident takes place and Benny dies. The First Lady hides herself away on the 2nd floor of the White House. She's consumed by grief, and she begins writing letters to Benny, pleading for him to return. And she truly believes that he does return. And what makes this book different than the others is that it's not gory or bloody or gruesome in any way. So it's not that kind of horror story. This is more of a haunting and a ghost story that revolves around fears of death and how our minds try to deal with horrendous grief. There are noises and sightings of several ghosts, including the slaves that built the White House, which I thought was very interesting. And there is a grief room. There's also a bit of psychological horror as the haunting ghosts try to cause the greatest pain for both the First Lady and the President. So this was a very well written book and I really enjoyed it. So that's the 4 books that made it into my top horror books of 2020. Please let me know what your favorite horror stories of 2020 were. Is this a genre that you read a lot of? Have you read any of the books on this list? And if so, let me know your thoughts. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.